Assalamualaikum guys, this is Sir Wakas and welcome back to English 1123. Right, so continuing with our last lesson, that was descriptive essays. So in the last class, what we actually did was we did describe two friends, one was like you and one was least like you, right? And that was given to my students as homework. So just going through it, what was actually required from you guys, and then I'm going to share a few of my students' work with you guys. One, something that I really liked about them. Right. So we start off with basically again the question: describe two friends. One was like you and one was least like you. You describe their personality, behavior, and character. Again, this is a past perfect question that you have. TF stands for task fulfillment, and then you have language. Both of them are of 15 marks. That means total marks is 30. Right. So I underlined you in both scenarios, and I underlined personality, behavior, and character. Why? See, in order to actually do a proper descriptive essay, you need to understand what the question is actually asking you for. The question is not again repeating, not saying that you need to have one friend that is like you and one friend that you do not like. Least like you means he's still your friend, okay? He's still your friend, but he does not share the similarities with you, right? He's different from you, but he's still your friend. So again, you need to again understand O-levels in your paper, you have a lot of questions that will be focusing upon your friends. There will be a lot of questions that will be focusing upon people, right? And then you need to understand personality, behavior, and characteristics. So I'll just go through it very, very quickly. What I actually found in my students' work, and then I'm going to add my work as well. So when you're comparing people, when you're comparing two friends, when you're comparing two personalities, two personas, to anyone that you want to compare with, right? Compare and contrast. Then you have introverts versus extroverts. You can't write one friend is like me and one friend is not like me. That is very basic. You'll probably get very, very less marks, right? You need to be very specific when it comes to personalities. You need to write they're either introverts or they're extroverts. Now, if one of your friend is like you need to write he is an extrovert similar to me, and then you need to elaborate. How is he an extrovert? Is he an extrovert as in does he actually like outdoor sports? Again, elaborate. Outdoor sports as in what? You guys play cricket, you guys play football, you guys want to hang out? Elaborate. Sorry, it's all in the elaboration. A descriptive essay is one where you need to describe your personality, your situation, right? That's a descriptive essay. Then you have aggressive versus passive. An aggressive person could be one who shouts, one who is excited all the time, one who is ready to go out, have fun, enjoy it, one who's a workaholic. That can be aggressive as well. Well, a passive person can be, okay, fine, he's nonchalant. As in, you give him a task, he'll do it later on. He might procrastinate. A passive person might be one who in the face of danger might not take any action at all. That's a passive person. Again, elaboration. Again, the use of vocabulary counts a lot, right? You can't write my friend is lazy. You can't write that. You need to write he's passive. Again, elaborate. How is he passive? For example, he gets up late. That's very basic, by the way. For example, he studies at the last hour, right? So that's passive. An aggressive person could be he starts studying 1 month before the exam. Now again, you have to write, is he similar to you or is he dissimilar to you? Is he aggressive similarly to you or is he passive dissimilarly to you, right? So it has to be you that there is there. Again, the question is basically describe two friends, one who is like you and one who is least like you. Then you have optimistic versus pessimistic. Again, your friend might be an optimist. He might always find a silver lining in a cloud, right? He might always be the one who will be looking for positive, but then he might be a pessimist. He might be like, okay, so if this happened, for example, a black cat, crossed in front of you. So he's a pessimist, like, okay, fine, I would go out today. He might be an optimist. Oh wow, look, a black cat. Let's pet him. For example, that's optimism. An optimistic friend might be he gets less marks, he gets less grades, but then his mentality is that he will probably be like, okay, so let's work harder next time. A pessimistic friend might be, or a pessimistic personality might be, I got less marks, I can't study English. Let's just go with it. Let's just get a C and a D in English and move on. That's pessimistic. Again, see, I elaborated. I did not leave it hanging on being pessimistic. See, again, students, you need to realize basic tier is saying your friend is negative or positive. That is tier 1. That would get you the least marks, right? A second tier would be writing your friend is optimistic or your friend is pessimistic. That's tier 2. Tier 3 and the maximum marks is when you elaborate on optimistic and pessimistic and write how are they optimistic. You write how are they pessimistic, right? That is tier 3. Then a lot of my students wrote we share the same hobbies. Okay, right. As in elaborate. You share the same junk food. Okay, elaborate. You may be diet freaks, you may be calorie obsessive, you may be diet conscious, you might be on a carb diet, you might be on a cheese diet. I don't know, I don't care. But the again, elaboration matters. You may write less points, right? But you need to elaborate. A lot of students wrote we like to play sports, and then I was debating, okay, what type of sports? And you guys just left me hanging, right? So you need to elaborate what type of sports. Then again, it can a person who's not like you may not like sports at all, while you may be a sports freak. What does he want to do then? A lot of people would be like to read books. Okay, that's fine. That's one mark. Elaborate which type of books that you want to read. Which genre do you like to read? Maybe you like to read horror stories. Maybe that person is a fictional fan, right? Maybe you like to watch shows that are paranormal. Maybe he's an anime freak. You never know, right? So again, elaboration matters. And then just elaborate, right? You won't get the marks. A lot of people wrote, my friend is lazy while I am active. That is tier 1. That is very, very basic. You need to elaborate. He's lazy. How is he lazy? Is he a procrastinator, right? Procrastinator is one who actually, does not do the work on time. Me, you, a lot of people are procrastinators. But see, elaborate. Procrastinator, how? An assignment was given to you. For example, a lot of my students submitted the assignment at the last hour, right? So that's procrastination. Okay? So that is procrastination's example. Right now, I'll take you quickly through a few examples. There are a lot of my students, from my students' work, and you have, right? So I'm assuming this is okay. My bad. This is Mahad. This is your work, right? So I really like Mahad's start, right? It is said two friends are not just friends, they are family. They are an integral part of your life. It is more like a family you can choose and grow up sometimes. We select friends on the basis of interest and some criteria, while just some randomly occur, right? So this is basically his introduction, where he's actually defining friends, and then he's stating that you have friends that you actually select, and then there are friends that you actually do not select and they become friends out of the blue. This means he's telling you right now that there are friends that are like him and that there are friends that are not like him. So that's one example. Then you have another candidate's example that is, I guess this is Laiba Kazi. Friends or family which you choose, they are like spines. They are like a spine which always stays at your back and give you a buttress to stand firm. See again, now this is a good introduction, but then this is where she messed it up. I always need a friend who remains loyal to me in every situation and becomes my shadow. No one is born perfect, not anyone could ever be. Many do have anomalies, and that is what perfection is. Now at this point, she actually strayed off topic, right? When she wrote, I need a friend who remains loyal to me, right? This is now a quality of a friend. This has now strayed away from the topic. So you need to be very careful. You need to realize what your topic is. Your topic is not qualities of a friend. It's basically those friends that are like you and that are not like you. Then you have one more. Now this essay is, I guess, this is by Arij. Now again, his start was actually very good as well. So his start was, as soon as I can get this done, In the world of mean people and fake people, it is fortunate to find myself two friends more likely like my brothers. Our trio is likely to be unbreakable and so on and so forth. See again, this is a very good start, right? This could be a metaphor, this could be idiom, this could be however you want to tell it, but he's saying that this is an importance of friendship, and that's it, right? That is the only intro that you need to give. Then you come directly to the topic. Another example that I have is from an introduction. I'll just go quickly through an introduction that I have. Right. So Fian's introduction was, what is a friend? Seems like an easy question, but its answer is different, right? For me, basically a friend is one who sits with you completely silent but is there and so on and so forth, right? Like that means, again, this started off with a rhetorical question. So you have options. You can start off with a quote, you can start off with a metaphor, you can start off with, a rhetorical question, that's allowed. Then you come towards the main body. On the other hand, I have a friend Zunaira. This is Aruba, a rainbow in my life with an artsy and joyful soul. We kinda have different personalities, but we are friends for life. She is calm as an ocean and so confident, whereas I am a ball of fire and an agitated person. See, she perfectly described her friend Zunaira and then she compared it with herself. That's what you need to do. If you only describe Zunaira, for example, or you only describe one character, right? That means you're actually telling their quality, but you're not comparing. Your actually question is asking you to compare a person, a friend who's like you and who's least like you, right? And then you can actually read it if you want to read it. I'll give you like 2 seconds to do this. She's fond of dogs, cats, while I love cats. So she's, going, she's thinking in an unorthodox manner. She's thinking different, right? Right, so we are done with this. Then you have one more, I guess. Yeah, that's that, I guess, for that. Then we have, moving on towards another essay that we did. Now, another essay that we did was basically focused upon it was focused upon a place where you relax, right? Now, a place where you can relax is basically, again, you need to describe the place. You need to describe what people do in that place. You need to describe what you need to do with that, what you do in that place, but you need to focus as to what the place actually is, right? And nothing more, nothing less. So this was Vamik's essay. If you want to read it, you can read it right now. Right. Then moving on. This was an introduction by someone that I really liked. Sometimes the most productive thing that you can do is to step out and do nothing. Only relax and enjoy nature. That's a very beautiful start, by the way. And then you have, that's it for my feedback. Coming on towards your next essay that you have, the next homework that you have, and that is describe the most helpful and the most unhelpful person you know. Again, see, we are doing people right now, we are doing personalities right now. So that's why, again, you need to focus upon this. Describe the most helpful and the most unhelpful person you know, right? So this is your main thing that you have to do. You describe two people, right? As to how one is helpful and how one is not helpful. Then you can describe the person, their behavior and their characteristics, right? That means their personality, their physique maybe, or their personality traits. Again, when you start with an intro, you define help, right? So in this essay, you can actually define help is. Help is basically helping somebody who's in need. Help can be providing aid. Help is what the entire situation is right now while making this video. That's the whole coronavirus scenario, right? So how do you help people? A helpful person might be one that is, brings you grocery at home. So that's a helpful person. An unhelpful person might be one who you actually tell the person, you ask the person to bring you something, but then he or she doesn't do it. So that's an unhelpful person. But make sure in your descriptive essays you do not start writing narrative. Do not go into the plot, rather focus upon the person. Example, you do not need to write to me that there was a dire condition, there was a dire situation at my home, there was no food and this and that. You go into in depth. Don't go into in depth. Tell me the basic. Okay, there was a dire condition at my home and I need assistance. I asked my friend Vakas to help me out, right? And then you tell me, was he helpful or was he an unhelpful person? Define need and necessity, right? Define why you actually need help. Define or elaborate on what humanity is. What is it? This is a very good aspect. As to in your introduction, you can write, what is humanity? Humanity is helping each other out in times of need, right? So that's one way you can actually start your essay off. Use of metaphors, idioms, literary devices, rhetorical question. Rhetorical question could be, what is humanity? Question mark. Humanity is helping a person in dire need. See, that's humanity. It could also be, what is help? That's a very basic start, by the way. If you keep on using the word help, you lose marks, right? Because it's repetition. Think of something else rather than help. And then you come towards describing the person, behavior and characteristic. That is physique attributes, personality, character, helpful or not. Right? If you write, this person was helpful, that's too basic. You will lose marks. If you write, he was not helpful, that is again very basic. Think bigger. Think unorthodox. Think out of the box, right? Make sure your essay does not become narrative. Again, plot. How do you describe a person, their behavior and characteristics? Through a particular incident or incidents. Again, one incident, describe the person. Incident is supposed to be this much, the description has to be bigger, right? If the incident becomes this much, that means you went into a narrative format. Incidents can be financial, accidentally emotional. Yeah, so my CIs are coming up and my family is going through a financial crisis. I have no idea what to do. And at that time, my friend Junaid, he helps me, right? He provides me with this with a bank account. He provides me with financial assistance. Go into in depth about what Junaid did. Go into in depth as to Junaid's personality. He's a person who always help people. He's a person who's willing to give his heart and soul to help people. He's a humanitarian. He's a philanthropist, right? This is me describing the person. So on another scenario, I was in the same financial. I was in an accident. While I was lying on the floor, I saw my friend passing through in front of me, or I saw one person in front of me. Now, I don't know that person. Took out his mobile phone. He started filming. Obviously, that person is very unhelpful. You describe that person. You describe his body language. You describe his having fun at me when I'm actually lying on the floor, right? This is a daily life example. You see accidents, and what do you see? You see people taking out the cameras and they start filming you, right? So that is unhelpful. Describe that person. Describe the physique of that person. Describe what he's wearing, maybe. Describe his persona. Describe his personality. He's very nonchalant. Instead of helping you, he's making fun of you. He's pointing at you. He's maybe making a video. He's zooming in, zooming out, like those Indian dramas that you have read. Maybe you see an incident, and then what happens is you see somebody, instead of helping a person who's on the ground, they start robbing and stealing from them. So that's an unhelpful person as well. Describe that scenario. Emotional assistance. I'm going through depression, right? So one of my friends is always there for me. He's there for me day and night. On the other hand, I have this person who lives with me, but he or she does not provide with emotional support. So that's one example that you can have. And then you have a basic comparison of what personality and character is, right? So I'm just leave this over here for you guys to screenshot if you want to, right? And that is it from my side. I hope you understood whatever queries that we discussed right now. If you have any further questions, you can leave them in the comment down below in the YouTube video, or you can simply WhatsApp me or come on Google Classroom and leave a private message. See, Allah Hafiz.